Welcome to Straddle Income. Today is Tuesday, July 21st. We're going to talk about the trades that I made today. Today is actually a very slow day, unexpectedly, but it's somewhat interesting to know what really happened with the market. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the market sentiments, some of the information that I've gathered regarding how other people are feeling about this entire market. And then lastly, we're going to look at the potential trades that I can potentially participate tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. A lot of people is expecting that because Tesla and Microsoft is going to report earnings. So without further ado, let's look at the trades and the market first. So the market started off really slow. Yesterday, it was a huge run up. A lot of software companies are actually getting a huge bump up because of the rotations from the Wall Street and Main Street. But this morning, it started really slow. Software sector didn't have too much of an interesting gain, but really what really happened today is the small and the medium-sized companies. So the trades that I made yesterday about IWM actually performed really well. So let's look at the trades that I made today. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't make too many trades today because the market was slow. You can see, there are a couple of trades that I wanted to take a profit on, Lululemon, Team, Taiwanese semiconductors, but they didn't get to the price that I really wanted. So I ended up trying to cancel and then fill with different orders. So what really happened was those trades expired by the end of the day, but really, in the meantime, I've been playing a couple other trades that I made earlier. First of all, I did a trade about VXRT. So VXRT is, for some of you don't know about the company, they were getting a lot of attention because the fact that they are in the vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine run up one of the candidates. So the company is getting a lot of attention. I bought about 100 shares earlier, around $6, $7, but now the stock is around $14 to $15. So, biomedical industry is a very interesting space. It's really, there's not a lot of consistencies. It can run up and can also run down. It's very volatile. So what I did while I have the VXRT, basically I sold a trade, cover call. So let's look at the trade that I made. A couple weeks earlier, I made a VXRT and I sell a call at $30. Basically, when I sell a call at $30, meaning that I'm expecting the stock will not go above $30. As long as it expires under $30, I can take the profit. And at the time, I think the profit was $300, but that's the premium I was getting when selling this particular call. And a couple of days later, VXRT yesterday had a little bit gain, but then today, if you look at the VXRT, it's actually not really one of the top sectors. So I am trying to find the VXRT for you. Let me actually go here. VXRT today has not moved much. So what I did is basically I closed the trade. I took the profit and about $200, and I went back and started selling another trade of VXRT. So the first VXRT was canceled, and then I filled the one at August 21st. I closed this trade. I think I got a profit of $230. $300 initial premium. Then I closed it with $70 payment to close that. So I got $230. And then I ended up selling another VXRT all the way up till September 18th for $30. This time the premium is not so much as only $180, but it will reduce the position and the exposure that I have for VXRT. I paid about $800 for 100 shares. Now I'm collecting about $400 just by selling the call. So I'm reducing my exposure in this particular stock by half a percentage. Looking at this trade here, VXRT, this is what I did for September 18th. I sold the call of $30 and got a premium of around $180. So that's the first trade I made, and then the second trade I did was Starbucks. The Starbucks is going to report earnings soon, but the Starbucks stock is being really hammered because of the fact that COVID-19. A lot of people are now getting going out and getting coffee. So if we look at the early March, it went from the $92 all the way to $50. But then, as time goes by, it came back a little bit. And then the fact that Chinese market has opened, it really helped the company come back. But it's nowhere close to where it was prime at the time. So what I did is, Starbucks is going to report earnings, and then the fact that the stock has been trading sideways for a while, I think there's a potential opportunity it can provide a surprise. So that's why that's where I came from. I did August 21st. I bought a couple calls at price of $87.5. So this is about $10 out of the money. It was kind of cheap in the morning, but then, I paid about $24 for 4 calls, and with the total payment about $100. Then I kind of getting clapped towards the end of the day because, it's not moving that much. So we'll see. If tomorrow, we still have some time on this, about a month out. If sometime in the future, next couple of weeks, it came back up, I will probably, like what I always do, take some trades off, get my initial principal investment back, and then take then write out the free trades if there's any possibility. Otherwise, I'll keep it until expire. We'll see how it goes. So without being further ado, these are the trades that I made today: VXRT, Starbucks, and like I said earlier, Taiwan Semiconductor is not really fulfilling the price that I wanted, so I ended up canceling and those costs. But the trade I did yesterday really, I think hopefully it will pay off tomorrow, because Texas Instruments has reported earnings, and it was a very big surprise, and moved a lot after the market. So for some of you didn't watch the video last time, I'll post the link down below. But basically, I bought a couple calls for TXN. So TXN reported earnings today. If we look at the TXN stock, I think if let's look at the 30 minutes. They were reported earnings, and then there's a huge run up, and they came back down. So it was good news. We'll see. We still have a couple weeks out, so I'll write it the particular calls that I got, and we'll see how it performs. So with that being said, today is it's a very slow day. A lot of the small, IWM has getting a lot of exposure. Small and medium-sized cap business is getting, finally, it's kind of taking the lead of leading the market. So there's some rotation here. And if I will look at it again tomorrow, if the IWM trade that I made yesterday, if it's proven to be a good return, giving me 70% of the profit, I'll probably close it early. And take the profit and then make another trade. But let's look at some other things that I got today. The market right now is in a very interesting state. So many people are working from home. COVID-19 cases has been a historical high in the US, and the stock market is really doing well. That's surprising. And if you look at the VIX chart, VIX is a volatility chart. Basically, it's a measure of how volatile people are feeling about the entire market. It has, really coming down. And you want it to go down. So the lower the VIX, meaning the stable the market. But then the last couple of days, it actually went a little bit up. So it's a very interesting, seeing little things that we wanted to pay attention to. Maybe it was because the earnings coming up, or maybe it was because the fact that there are a couple states or cities are on the verge of 2.0 shutdown, and that could really impact the market. But really, this chart is again proving, how people are feeling about this market. And it's basically, people are seeing for the last 3 months, last 1 month, and the current, how people are feeling, this market. A lot of people are bullish. Call and put volume ratio is really high currently. And, people are feeling very bullish about this market. But in the meantime, there's some equity risk is very low, which I don't understand why they think it's low. But the point is that, the market overall is surprisingly, very bullish, really performing stable, and kind of interesting to see that. So here's a quick summary about the market. And tomorrow it's going to be a huge day. We have a couple of days. There are a couple of companies I'm very interested in. You know, today at the end of the day, TER reported earning. It was easily beating the Wall Street numbers. So I was really paying attention to that. And TER is a stock that, you know, again, a favor of the coronavirus, and really where they were reported earnings today is it went from $90 to $96. So tomorrow I'll probably look at it if there's an opportunity to enjoy and participate the post-earning run-up, and we'll see how it goes. Another trade that I'm possibly interested in is Tesla. Tesla is very surprisingly, you know, very, very oversold. If you look at their option chains, right now Tesla is selling. So basically tomorrow, the trade that I'm talking about expiring, but you'll see there are people, a lot of people are buying 3,500 call, which expires this Friday. This is so bizarre. And this is, again, showing how people are feeling and about this entire Tesla. They're super, super bullish. You know, the fact that it would go from 1,570 to 3,500 in 3 days. Again, just another side of the story here, you know, how people are playing this Tesla market stock. So I don't know if I will participate, but I will look closely on this. Another thing I forgot to mention is the Snap. Actually, Snap reported earnings today, which is kind of interesting story. Snap really dropped from the $24 all the way to about $21.35, and they came back up. I think the sales and daily acquisition numbers are really in line, but the fact that there's a huge cost component, and also, you know, the uncertainty about advertising industry, it's really hurting the company. So I'll probably look at, you know, the Snap and, you know, look at the Facebook. Maybe Facebook would do the same thing tomorrow, and I'll probably buy some puts. I already have the puts on the Facebook. And again, you know, it kind of dropped a little bit and came back up. So the Facebook position I have earlier today is about, so I have the August 7 puts around the 165, again, went out of the money, and it's kind of collapsed. So we'll see tomorrow if it's going to be revived, and we will probably, you know, adjust my position a little bit here. And Tesla, Microsoft is reporting earnings tomorrow. So Microsoft, I have some calls. I don't expect Microsoft to move too much this week, you know, and the last week to really prove the fact that, you know, the early anticipation of, you know, company reported good earnings, and the fact that, you know, those stocks have been really ramping up is kind of exhausting. I don't expect by the end of this week Microsoft will go up again. So I think I still have some time for the Microsoft call, so I'll watch those. It didn't really move too much from yesterday when I placed the trade from $35 per call. Now it's about $34. So I'm still, you know, holding those. It's not making much changes, but tomorrow we'll see how it really goes after the earnings report. And another trade I'm interested to look into is Inno. Inno is a trade that it's similar to VXRT. Today it actually went up again. If we look at Inno, it's another biomedical company. There's a huge gain during the middle of the day, then kind of, you know, slow down a little bit. So tomorrow I'll probably look at the fact if there's any potential opportunity to buy a call or put, or selling a put, because it's really volatile market for Inno. It's about 50% IV rank, so it's really volatile. You will see the IV ranking about 185, 188. So what it really means is, you know, instead of buying something, it would be a good idea to sell. And the fact that it's high IV, meaning that you can sell a higher premium. So you want to be the seller, but you got to be smart how you want to sell it. You know, it's a very volatile stock, you know, biomedical, biochem. So $27, we're talking about, you know, probably way out of money, making probably selling some puts right here. But I'll see. It doesn't seem to be giving me a good return. We're talking about $50 $120, but it's $23. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Tomorrow it's going to be an interesting day because of the Tesla, Microsoft. And again, here is the things that I did today, some of the trades that I made I couldn't make. And then tomorrow I'll be looking at the stocks that I want to participate in. Microsoft, I'm already in. Tesla, I'll just probably look at it because I have a couple shares of Tesla stock. I'll just trying to stay on the sideline. It's just very risky to play Tesla at this point. So with that being said, this is pretty much everything I want to talk to you guys today. Hopefully this is helpful and can give you some ideas. But if you like it, making sure you subscribe and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.